All right, last month, to your tease now, we were all looking at this team saying we think that they've got to make a trade. They were really thin at wing. They needed to get bigger. They needed to get better defensively at that position. They did with the acquisition. Koby made some great moves. DeAndre Hunter, you want to pipe in?
Yeah, I made a graphic
Javonte
and I
Green?
wanted to make sure we get, because tonight they play the Knicks.
Right.
If you go back to 2 seasons ago when they played the Knicks in the playoff series, they had no wings to play. Steve, take this full. On the left is the depth of the wings they had against New York in the playoff series. On the right, and Javonte Green isn't officially in uniform yet, but I put him on the list because he will be there, is the depth of wings they have for the stretch. Isaac Okoro is on both. He's better now than he was 2 years ago. Dean Wade barely played 2 years ago. Now he, when healthy, is a mainstay. You have DeAndre Hunter, Max Strus, Javonte Green, and Jaylen Tyson, as opposed to the shell of Danny Green, Cedi Osman, and Caris LeVert. Talk about an upgrade in a 3-4 week span, and without doing it with spending a ton of assets. Dustin, you teased it. It's a pretty incredible turnaround for Koby Altman.
Well, just look at those guys on the left versus the guys on the right.
Oh, my God.
It's night and day. Some of those guys, I mean, yeah, Cedi, I mean, a lot of those guys I love. Good, really great guys, good teammates, fun players to watch, but just not the talent level of the guys on the right. Now, you have Hunter and Strus, who are both 1A, 1B for the starting position. Wade, when he's healthy, is such a vital piece. I just think it's like the T said, if I could have gotten it better, they went from a weakness to a strength in really 3 weeks.
Yeah,
it's
and that's
really
tough
surprising.
to do because they were so limited with what they could do because of the cap and other concerns. Mike, I think we've got executive of the year here, don't we, in Koby Altman?
He's certainly got a case. Jason Lloyd had made the joke on the show that he had a chance to win it and become the first executive to win it without ever making a move. Yeah, because he just brought the roster back. And that was before the DeAndre Hunter acquisition.
Yeah, but there were off-season moves that he made that I like. I like what he did.
What did he do this offseason?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but the last 2 off-seasons, I think he's upgraded the bench tremendously.
But this Ty Jerome was not this offseason.
Right, yeah. Those guys
I know, but his impact was felt
they added
this
Jaylen
season,
Tyson.
not last season.
No, I hear you. I'm just saying.
So I just think that I got to credit him for that. I know it was 2 years ago, but...
Oh, no, he deserves a ton. I'm not trying to take it away.
I got to say, Mike...
Kenny Atkinson hired, man.
I got to say...
Atkinson, he gets credit for that.
I think we're overrating the wings of the Cavs a little bit. To call it a strength, I think, is a little strong. It's no longer a weakness. I'm with you there.
It's a huge upgrade.
It is, but I think they've gone from weakness to fine. I think
when we're saying weakness, that was their weakness.
It was, but I wouldn't call that wing depth a strength, Mike. I mean, where is Hunter rank in the wings in the league?
A hell of a lot higher than Osman.
Agreed, and that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's gone from a weakness to a neutral, I would say, more than let's not get carried away about how good Max Strus, Dean Wade. I don't mean to. We can't just. I'm not going to just.
No, that's fair. But
we don't want to get carried away. It's obviously it's better.
But it can be a strength without being top 5, though. Yeah. Can it? I just look at it because they were so weak there before. It wasn't a weakness; it was an Achilles.
Right,
it was a
and it's not anymore.
Flashing red light. And now I think it's better than serviceable. Is it the best? Of course not.
No.
Is it top 10? Probably not.
Right.
But I think it's more than serviceable.
Yeah, it's an area. It's an area your opponent now can't take advantage of.
That's right. And that's all they needed. They didn't need it to be a strength. They got strengths everywhere else.
Sure.
I think they've gotten it where it's not a negative. It's like if you compare the starting 5 in the NBA to a starting 5 offensive lineman. If you could have 4 strengths, if your 5th guy is terrible, it's going to kill your offensive line. Yeah. We've seen it with the Browns before. The Cavs kind of had that. It was like 4 strengths and 1 big weakness that's going to kill them in a big spot. Well, now that 5th spot is at least neutral, is at least solid.
Yeah, Mike, when you're in the playoffs and you're working with these scouting reports, you want to make it as difficult as you can on your opponent for them to figure out where they're going to attack you. Before, the scouting report came with a big circle around it.
Yeah.
And now there's still ways that you can attack this group. There's no question. But now, to your point, you want to minimize your deficiencies, your vulnerabilities. And
Right.
I think they've done that.
They've gotten rid of their
much. And look,
Yeah.
it's not their strength. In fact, it's probably, if you're going to rate things, it's
Yeah.
probably still number 5.
Right.
But the Celtics have a number 5 too.
That's right.
And
yes.
our number 5 now isn't as glaringly bad as it used to be.
It's not bad at all. It's
No,
now solid.
it's
It's now solid. There's no doubt about it. I would actually say their biggest weakness right now is probably depth at the big is probably their biggest
100%.
weakness.
Yeah.
So if there was an injury there, that would be an issue. But if they're healthy, I mean, you now have with Hunter, you've gone from Max Strus, who's probably more of a bench guy, to a legitimate starter in Hunter, which is an upgrade. And now Strus as your number 2, even though he's starting, as your second best wing. Well, he's fine as your second best wing, as opposed to you don't want him as your first. And that drops everybody down. And if Dean Wade is healthy, obviously, as you talked about, he's a valuable piece, especially on the defensive end. And Mike's mentioned some of the analytics when he's been in the lineup. So it's quality. And I'm not saying it's bad at all. It's quality. But I don't want to get carried away.
I think the last thing, too, is which makes us you're right. We probably are making more of it than we should. The other piece of it, to me, is I was looking at whatever trade they could do as minimal or nothing at all because of the restrictions
that's
financially.
True, yes.
And Koby Altman reached into a hat and pulled out a rabbit.
And they didn't have not only the cap, but also the fact that they didn't really have any assets to trade.
Nothing. And they pulled it off.
Yeah,
So, again,
it was the best upgrade they could have gotten. No doubt about it.
All right, we're taking a break. What are the Browns going to do at number 2 in the NFL draft?